Good morning, February 18th, Friday, 2021. And we are all kind of digging out of an ice storm we had yesterday. So I had to let my car run about 20 minutes after 5 minutes of just trying to get my door open. So I'm glad I wore gloves because it's knuckle scratching. It's just that hard of an ice. So it's not sunny, but I've had a few people text me today with feeling under the weather. And my suggestion is the sunshine is wherever you are. You know, the sun is still out there doing what it does. It just is behind cloud cover. So you can either be underneath that cloud cover and choose to know that the sun's vibrant rays are coming through and nourishing Mother Earth and nourishing each and every one of us. Or you can be doomy gloomy and feel like you've got a dark cloud over your head. So honestly, it's choice. And then there are a lot of people that are home right now. And so they're on their electronics and posting out pictures and comments and watching things that maybe they wouldn't normally do on a busy day of work. And there was one where there was a picture of many ancient deities, a lot of them Indian. And the question was, why do all of these have their right hand up? And I really didn't pay that much attention to all the comments. I saw a yin and yang expression. But to me, my guide said, this person really didn't know. So my philosophy is to keep it simple, Sandy, right? So I simply commented that it is my understanding that the energy comes through the left side of the body and out the right. So if you are giving blessings or in a healing practice or ministry work, it comes out the right hand. And I said, remember, you are God. You are God. Despite the religious tainted books for control of that everything is outside of you, when the fact is that Mother, Father, God, Goddess, Source is energy, not a one being. It's an energy that we're all connected to, but we're connected to by choice on how deep we get connected to that energy source. Okay? So you can be connected like a dimmer switch is connected, and it can be down, low, off, dim, or it can be turned up, depending on what you want your relationship to be with this divine energy. So that comes out in your actions. Like, do you want to have a connection? And if you do, then it's your responsibility to take that dimmer switch and turn it up. And only you have the power to control that dimmer switch. So all of these things in the past paradigms that have made us believe incorrectly that we have to be this way or that way or this way in order to receive the love and the approval of this divine source. And that's not the way it is at all, actually. So if you can get away from some of the things that you're taught and sort of, I call it delete, alt, empty the cookies, and then begin to look at the world through new, fresh eyes, which is also a newness of the heart, and feel the calm, and then just begin to see the beauty of the trees. Begin to hear the beauty of the birds and their rhythm, because no No two bird families sound alike. To me, many of them sound very similar, but as I've had this more time off in 2020, I started really paying attention, like closing my eyes and I'd look and I'd see a bird in a tree, and then I would just listen to it. And then I would listen to the same sound from many trees over as they communicate with each other. And looking at little teeny things that we've taken for granted puts us in those new fresh eyes and that lighter loving heart. And remember, when we're in those states, we're getting the cascade of really healthy chemical balances in the body, the serotonins, the endorphins, things like that, that is our creative juices. And so that's really what our relationship is with the divine source of all, the God, goddess, whatever you want to call, because there is no gender involved here. I think just people have always just used he because for one reason it was to control, and another is just a habit. I mean, I have a habit of saying, hey, you guys, and I'm in a room full of girls. And we don't think anything about it. But your relationship with your God self, okay, because it is your Holy Spirit housed within the physical avatar, and you carry that around all day, and we seem to make more priority about the physical avatar, how it's feeling. Did we feed it? Did it get enough air? Those kinds of things, and we forget about the spiritual, holy side of the spirit within ourselves that needs to be nurtured and be given attention to. So it's kind of like the busy mom that's busy giving to the kids and the family and packing lunches, and then to the partnership of spouse type thing. And then after enough years go by, moms get fed up with it. They're like, hold on a second. I need to be refueled by some of your love. All I'm doing is giving, giving, giving. So don't get yourself into that habit where you're doing, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, how much time has it been since I just went outside and sat on a rock, or took a walk in a park, or just drove my car somewhere if it's cold and maybe cracked the window a little bit and just looked out at nature with no radio, no electronics, no people talking to you, no one pulling you in any directions. And zip up that energy, and you're turning up your dimmer switch. So your action is to get closer to this God source self of yours. And then in order to feel that, you're turning up the dimmer switch, and that's your action. If your wants and desires always take an action, you can't just sit on the sofa and go, I really want to win the lottery. I want to win the lottery, but you don't go buy a lottery ticket. You really want to feel better, but you don't take stock of your environment and your caloric intake and things like that. So many people will avoid sitting still because it will remind you of the aches and pains in which the physical avatar has. And it gets frustrating. And I understand that, which is the beauty of turning on YouTube and doing yoga by yourself, because you don't have to keep up with the class, and there's nobody behind you, in front of you, and beside you that's gone on to a different move, and you're stuck on the move before. Because we don't have to beat to everybody else's drum. That's the beautiful thing about the awakening of 2020 is beat your own drum. Do what works for you. But get into that physical avatar and adjust those restricted areas, okay? And it brings more breath into the body, which then allows you to have that beautiful chemical endorphins released, which is your zone out bliss happiness. And even if you don't think you're at bliss, you're at least turning up the dial on happy feelings. And the next time you'll turn it up even more. And then all of a sudden it'll become your priority. Your priority really is to feed the spirit. The physical world comes second. And that is something that I've learned myself over the last decade. And especially since 2015, it's been every single day is like, I got to feed my spirit. Food comes second. Other things come second. Worrying about bills, everything else, that comes later. Okay? Because I've got to feed and nourish my energetic God self, my physical God self. It's all one. And it's served me well. It has served me well. And it takes work, it takes action, it takes conscientious movement into that, even if it's conscientious movement into stillness and devoting time so that your divine guides that are here as your team to guide you have the opportunity to come in during your stillness, because they're trying to come in, but you've got chitter chatter, move, 10 and 2, all the stuff going on. And they're like, well, sooner or later, he or she's going to have to sit still. And then when you sit still, you begin to worry about all the things you need to do. And that's also the part of taking the action of accepting where you are and starting in maybe a few minutes of being still and breathing. Maybe add a few minutes next time. Make it a fun adventure, because I can promise you, when you start tapping into those feelings, nobody's going to knock you off that pedestal. They're just not. It doesn't matter what people's moods are or what's happening outside of you. Nobody's going to tap you out of that happy barometer. And the barometer is your choice on where you set it. Nobody has the power to touch this dial. So you can't say, oh, I was in such a good mood, but then I went to work. Oh, I was in such a good mood, but then the kids came home. I was in such a good mood, but then my ex called. I was in such a good mood, but this happened. It's like, no, victim. No, victim. Yeah, those are the times where you go, that was a lot of energy being shot at me. And it kind of knocked me off kilter here. But I have the power to take that dial and say, take a moment, allow the cascade of chemical happiness come through you, connect with that divine source of the heart, the energetic, the entire universe, and then step back into something that you need to handle. All right? So I really hope this helps. I really do. Because understanding that you, me, each of us are all together in this stepping stone to the next level. And only me, myself, and I can control my dial on where I am in this universe and how I react and respond to it. And the choices that I make and the actions that I take. And then where do I prioritize those in my day? Okay? So it can be as simple as that. And you know, it's keep it simple, Sandy. Keep it simple, Sandy. Because then I can maintain with grace without feeling like it's a chore. So breathe on that today. Breathe on that. Much love and light to each and every one of you. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell that hits all so you get all my videos. I'll be doing a lot more on many different topics. And I love messages. Leave me a message. All right, and until the next video, bye.